that looks good on you.
You are born with a grace.
The gift that looks good on you.
That grace is your gift. Yes.
The gift that looks good on you.
It's a divine enablement.
The gift that looks good on you.
If you work your grace, the grace will work for you. Company, teach the lesson.
The systems of the world will try to take your confidence.
Yes, they will.
For these systems were designed to make you doubt what heaven said.
Don't you doubt.
The systems of the world
These systems
will try to take your confidence.
Yes, they will.
For these systems were designed to make you sit down on your gift.
Don't you let
But the gift God gave to you,
this gift,
give it back to Him.
offer it up.
When He sees it operating,
Yes.
it's a compliment to Him.
Gives Him
For
glory.
the gift God gave to you,
This gift,
give it back to Him.
offer it up.
For the gift it will make room. Position for great men to see you. The gift it looks good on you.
Your gift,
It looks good on you.
looking good.
The gift it looks good on you.
I say your gift.
It looks good.
Grace and mercy be unto you. We are here once again with another installment of Be Made Whole with the presiding prelate of Hidden Manor Ministries, Bishop Cranford Davis. Bishop Davis, we're so glad to have you with us once again.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
man.
sir.
It's an
Yes,
honor
sir.
to be here.
Yes, sir. We are very glad to be here once again. And Bishop, we want to say that Happy New Year to all those that we have not said Happy New Year
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
Because yet, God is doing some great things, not only here in Henderson, but everywhere. And I believe this is the year of those who have been forgotten. I believe you
Absolutely.
message
Yeah.
on that. This is the year of those that have been forgotten. And being that we have entered into a new year, we are in what we call the generation X.
Right.
And,
Yes.
and as we heard in the old church, the children were the church of tomorrow.
Right.
But it seems like that tomorrow is here.
Absolutely.
And with that tomorrow comes new ideas and new things, especially technology.
Right.
We are seeing a heavy abundance of technology in the church. And I just want to see what your take was on technology being infused.
I think it's a wonderful thing. I think because we're in a new day and time, and because this generation is technologically driven,
Yes.
and we're seeing, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram play a very important role in evangelizing. When Jesus said, let's go into all of the world, and preach the gospel,
Yes.
what he was saying was that the gospel should be perpetuated,
Yes.
right? And because we're in a new day, that perpetuation of the gospel can be the medium rather that can be used for that is the internet and all the types of social media.
Yes.
So we are reaching the world,
Right.
because of that new technological mindset of the people of this generation.
Yes, and it definitely opens the doors of the church to a wider perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we're having preachers that are phenomenal being
Right.
exposed to the world.
Right, right.
Mega church is you can have 20, 30 members in the
Right.
mega because of the exposure. And I always believe that a mega church is not defined by the number of people in the seats, but it's the impact
Right.
that the church has or the ministry has on those people that it touch or the lives that it touch.
Yes. And speaking of churches are where we find strength and we gain knowledge. And in this day and age, there are many theological perspectives in regards to grace.
Yes.
Grace is sufficient, we know.
Right.
And songs like Your Grace and Mercy that
Right.
will last forever. So what is your theological perspective regarding grace in the church?
Well, I think, grace, the definition of grace is unmerited favor.
Yes.
But I think a greater understanding of grace can be found in defining or characterizing the one who is giving the grace.
Okay.
Because God is, He's sovereign.
Yes.
And so therefore, He gives grace, to whomever He wants. As a matter of fact, He said to Moses, He said, I'll have mercy upon whom I will have mercy.
Yes, sir.
And He said, I'll reign on the just and the unjust. So with that being said, having unmerited favor with God is somewhat to me of a theological mystery, because no one can really definitively define the application of grace. We can define what it is.
Right.
Who determines, other than God, this person, does the same thing
Right.
that the other person does, but still this person received, mercy or grace.
Right.
So who determines that? Nobody but God.
Right.
So it is in the sovereignty of God that really the infinite definition of what grace really is can be found. In this day and time, grace is being preached more now because more preachers, more ministries, and more teachers are embracing the New Testament kind of church. Where you see in the Old Testament, God was, he was striking people down for touching the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes, sir.
But still in this day and time, he's more grace oriented, and so, but that's the I call it the immutability of God, in that his character or nature doesn't change, but he has the ability to show us different facets of who he is.
Yes, and we're very thankful for that.
Absolutely.
And I'm thankful God.
I am the beneficiary of grace.
Yes,
so.
sir. Because the favor of God is
Absolutely.
not like any other.
Any other.
I take favor over money any day.
Any day.
Yes,
any
sir.
day.
And we thank God that God is not like man, because man will pick and choose who he wants to have.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I always say this, Josh, that God is just, but he's not always fair. And I know that sounds like a contradictory statement, but he is just. Two people does wrong, one person he shows mercy or grace. Well, the reality of it is both are guilty.
Right.
So, and technically, the person who does not receive grace cannot complain about not getting it, because whatever penalty he gets, he deserves it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But again, it's one of those gray areas, if you will, that I guess that's one of the areas that is really hard to define. For me, it is.
Yes.
And I think if anyone really sit down and think about it, it's really hard to put your finger on the application of grace. You can define it, but the application of it by the person who's giving it, which is God, that's the sovereignty of God.
Right. And there's nothing greater than the sovereignty of God.
Nothing greater than sovereignty. I'm just glad I'm on the beneficiary side of His grace.
Sir. Yes, sir. Getting my inheritance.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Well, Bishop, we are so glad to have you once again. It's always a privilege and a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you so much for allowing me to come.
Thank you so much, and we will see you again on the next edition of Be Made Whole.
The gift that looks good on you.
You were born with a grace.
The gift that looks good on you.
That grace is your gift. Yes.
The gift that looks good on you.
It's a divine enablement.
The gift that looks good on you.
If you work your grace, the grace will work for you. Company, teach the lesson.
The systems of the